folks, Smokey Dave here. I know some of you have been watching my videos and probably thinking to yourself, that's all well and good, Smokey Dave, but what if I just want to do one little block of cheese or maybe this pack of Nathan's so I could have some smoked hot dogs or something like that? I don't need to do 60 to 100 pounds of cheese and meat. I don't need to have to babysit this gigantic machine over here. I hear you. And that's why I'm starting my new series on building a small or even really tiny cold smokers out of everyday items you have in your house, for the most part. But we'll get to that. I say it's a series, it's probably going to be 2 videos, but I can call that a series, right? Because I'm going to. So tune in, and I'll show you how you can smoke something on your tabletop, or on your kitchen, or out on the porch. Probably don't want to do it in your kitchen, you make the whole house smell like smoke, but you get the point.
Let's head on down to the big box store so we can build ourselves a little smoker. I'll just grab this piece of red oak here. That should work. I'm going to start out using this mason jar lid as a guide. I want to make an oval-shaped cocktail smoker, as they are called, and I want it to fit over the mason jar as well as my bourbon glass. Basically, I'm just going to draw half the circle, kind of slide it over and draw the other half so that we have a nice oval. Pretty straightforward. I'll get this on the bandsaw, get it cut out, and of course then we'll sand it smooth when we're done with that, and then we'll start planning out the holes we need to drill. Now I'm actually going to cut the shape of this oval out roughly on the bandsaw here, simply because red oak is very dense and I'd have a tough time on the jigsaw, and I can always clean it up on the sander when I'm done. I'll clean up the shape and smooth out the corners here on the sander. As you can see, the oval shape allows us to pick up the smoker even when it has hot coals. But in order to put those hot coals in, we need to drill the main hole where the wood chips will go. And to do this, I'm going to use a 3/4 inch hole saw. So once I get it centered, we'll drill through that. And I'm going to use a wood block underneath to prevent the hole saw from hitting the steel plate of the drill. Now let's look at the design here. You will notice our oval needs what I am calling here a smoke plug, which is just a piece of wood larger than the hole we drilled that itself has many small holes in it to allow the smoke to flow out. To make the smoke plug, I will use a 1-inch hole saw and cut out a circle from an additional piece of our red oak board. So our smoke plug is going to act as our screen, if you will. And that keeps the wood chip coals in the smoker and not falling into our drink or item, as you can see from the design here. We're going to plug the bottom of the hole, as shown, and drill 4 side holes for the smoke to flow out of. I'm just going to use a small piece of scrap here to plug the bottom of the hole, and that should work fine. After I pound it in, I'm going to re-drill the 4 side holes just to make sure it's not in the way and that we have a clear path for our smoke to flow out of.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Before I go further, let me just say something about some designs I've seen on the internet that are very dangerous. They use these sink drain strainers. The problem with these, as you can see from the warning, is that they may contain chromium, nickel, zinc, and even cadmium and lead in some cases. They are not designed to be used with heat, and certainly not with any food item. Don't do this. Be safe. Use a screen designed for this purpose. You can get them off of Amazon and elsewhere, and these will not give you heavy metal contamination.
Hello folks, Smokey Dave here. Some of you have been asking, Smokey Dave, how can I get some of your delicious smoked cheese? Well, currently, there's a lot of regulations I have to jump through in order for that to happen. A lot of purchases I need to make, and it's going to take some time before I can sell my cheese through regular channels. However, if you come to me and purchase from me a block of cheese like this for, I don't know, twice what it cost me, and then turn around and say, Smokey Dave, as a neighbor and friend, would you smoke this cheese for me? I'd say yes. I'll smoke it, I'll brine it, I'll package it, and give it back to you for free. That's the only way we can do it right now. However, you can go online and get this great shirt. You can fascinate a woman with a piece of cheese, and other great shirts that I'm selling, such as, if you're gonna cut the cheese, just make sure it's Smokey Dave's. I just wanted to say I appreciate each and every one of you, and if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and leaving a comment down below. I read every comment. And until next time, don't forget, it's no joke. Everything's better with smoke.
You can use a proper screen if you want, but it's not really necessary, as our smoke plug will work just fine. Now, you may be tempted, as I was, to use hot glue. However, keep in mind that alcohol is what is used to remove hot glue from things, so if you're planning on using this little smoker for your bourbon or other alcoholic drinks, it might fall apart. I would advise using a good wood glue, as I am here. I'll start by centering the smoke plug over the main hole and using a sharp pencil to draw a circle on the smoke plug so I'll know where to apply the glue. I then spread a thin layer of glue on the plug and place it together with the main piece, and making sure to use a pencil wrapped with some paper towel to clean up any excess glue from inside the hole.
Here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully use the pencil again and just kind of get some of that excess out. Remember, this is the fire pit.
2 hours later.
We're going to use this as our wood to test it out. I mean, I guess I could have just used some shavings from the oak itself. Typically, though, let's move that to the side. Typically, though, we want to use some white oak for that sort of thing. So I'm just going to take some shavings. This is the same pecan I've used in several videos for cheese and other things.
Well, the time has come for us to test this little cocktail smoker out on some real bourbon. I'm not going to say what brand this is, but those of you who know bourbon will recognize the red wax. Anyway, let's put our little cocktail smoker on. Drop a few chips in there. And I'll get my torch out. We'll torch it up.
Torch. Take a spoon, place that over the top, put out any flames, and force the smoke down into the bourbon. Now I could have made a top for this, another wooden top or a metal top, but just as easy to use a spoon. There you go. Cheers.
Now that I'm liquored up, let's test this out on some hot dogs. And you can see why I made this cocktail smoker large enough to sit on a mason jar. So I decided to use some more chunkier bits of the pecan wood so that the coals would last a little longer. In the big smoker, these hot dogs would be held in the smoke for a good 2 hours, so we want to pump some smoke into the mason jar and have it stay there. And so these chunkier pieces should help us do that. We're still going to probably have to fire this up about every 15 minutes or so for the next 2 hours to get the same effect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those hot dogs turned out pretty well. The smoke was a little bit lighter than what would have happened if I'd made it in the regular smoker, but it still turned out okay. Did have to babysit it, as I said, about every 15 minutes. Had to, hit the torch again. So, in our next video, I'm going to show you how to make a little bit easier to use mini smoker, but it'll still be big enough where you can do a small roast, or you could do some chicken, and of course, cheese. So, if you liked what you saw here today, would you consider hitting that like button? And if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you'll know when we drop new videos. I mean, come on, you guys all know this stuff. Everybody says this on every YouTube video, but, they say you gotta say it, so I am. Anyway, I hope you liked what you saw, and don't forget, it's no joke. Everything's better with smoke.